Greetings, thank you for swinging by. Thank you for taking the chance, checking out this video. Welcome to Sequential Geek. Chill and absorb the 411, cause I loves to relay that data out to y'alls. For my killer subscribers, in regards to my 420 subscribers appreciation contest that just ended September 28th, to whom else would I want to be the sole contestant winner other than this beast of nature? Who, you ask? Dare I say the name? A fetus wrapped in an oil painting by Simon Beasley was how he was found in a pool of Danzig's blood. He was then planted in the ground on a new moon overnight. This huge pitch black cabbage the size of a Volvo had grown in the rust belt acid rains fed earth. The day he was birthed, people nearby went missing. The story stops there. I said there is no more. Who, you ask? Unless you have an exorcist on call for your sorry YouTube sold out souls, then you say the name.
Congratulations, PghZombie. 420 subscribers appreciation contest Grandmaster Champion.
Your prize winnings are in the mail, my friend. Now Halloween is upon our souls.
And now, there is nothing. Nothing but the darkness and the new beginning.
Welcome to Comic Book Hall, a 69 parts, a 37. My only new comic that I got is Jack Kirby's Star Warriors, starring Adam Starr and the Solar Legion. It's out of Image Comics. It's written and drawn by Tom Scioli. It's Tom Scioli's remastering of Jack Kirby's science fiction comic book, Adam Starr. This is just before Jack Kirby started creating Captain America with Joe Simon, for example. So we've got a young Jack Kirby starting off, remastered by Tom Scioli. This guy Adam Starr is a force to be reckoned with, fighting pirates out in space. And then at the end of this story, he's defeated this one pirate lair on Pluto, and he's trying to start this police force out in space. Here's another story, Cyclone, by Jack Kirby. Alright, it's a little novelty to get out of Colorado. Cali Chronic Comics. I know it says Cali, but as far as the first state to legalize the recreational state licensed retail sales of marijuana, that began in January 2014 right here in Colorado. A few months later, I think it was by May or June, it's legal in Washington state, but it started out here in Colorado. So when I saw this in the dollar bin, just thought it's a fun little novelty to get. Local comic book shops here from Denver, All Seas Collectibles. I don't know who these people are, these characters, but I've tried reading a couple of these. They're very dry read. It's more of like a promo comic book to promote the use of recreational weed, celebrating the legalization of recreational weed. So it's kind of zany plot, right? Just look at it. This is interesting. Indica, sleeping aid, calming element, deep thinking tool. Cool little things you're throwing in here. Dude lopping off heads. Boom, there's a bong. All right. Jahealing, word search. Gratitude, praise, blessings, humble, cannabis, sacrament, faith, prayer, and salvation. Interesting. Healing activity page and some merchandise. I know that there were a couple of women associated with this promotion over at Comichron Comics, and they had this like reality TV show. They were helping people kind of like Shark Tank start recreational weed businesses. It was just before the pandemic came out, and then the show got cut short. All right, I just wanted to show this real quick. A few hauls ago, I showed off /Maraud, all 6 issues, the interiors. It was the one comic book haul that I had just before those 7 OG long boxes, which, as a matter of fact, it's these boxes right here. I did a video on each box. My original Geek, my OG Copper Age long box haul videos, one for each box. There's like 7 of these, originally from the 80s. Please check it out. Found these in the back issue bin, the discount bin, dollar bin, /Maraud. This is out of 1987. Doug Munch story, number 3 of 6. Paul Ga+e doing the cover and the interiors. Just wanted to show this really quick. It's crazy. I had no idea that this existed. It's like a combination of, I don't know, like Road Warrior and like 1980s scene with this crazy alien invasion, but these aliens, they look kind of hokey. They got these big eyes and they're furry, and you know, they act like other people, right? They have personalities, but they're cool as fuck. They're like from this planet where Drexel came from. You could say basically, you know, Drexel from True Romance. They're brutal, these people. They took over Earth. They're terraforming Earth. There's like this purple sludge type snow that snows occasionally. They're terraforming the Earth, messing with the environment, creating dinosaurs, grabbing some dinosaur DNA from here and bringing dinosaurs back on the planet, just doing things to keep humans in check, while it takes about 5 years, it's estimated, for this one alien terraforming project to complete. Then all the humans will no longer be able to live. And this scientist, the furry scientist from this other planet that's taken over Earth, he's having a change of heart. And so now, while these humans are living as pretty much slaves, they're being told to battle. You got like this car, like mashup, roller derby, gladiatorial stadium here that they've set up. It's just fucking nuts. So this doctor's got a change of heart, and this one dude /Maraud, his last name is like Maradovich. So he's got the name Maraud /Maraud. He's trying to get this army together so he can go find this one alien scientist so that they can use what he knows to reverse the terraforming process. Crazy artwork. Just here's the aliens in their original form, because they can change their shape, their appearance. And one of them's using this Earth human to have sex. And she has to wear this breathing apparatus, as you can see. Fucking crazy. Yeah, because why not? They're aliens and it's the 80s. And, you know, think about it, it's the 80s. So there were some 70s parties people were starting to have in the late 80s, but that really started in the early 90s. So here you got like the retro style, some guy like in the early 60s, late 50s, sort of like rockabilly scene. He's emulating Elvis. He gets recruited. So it's a fun comic book. I found issue number 3 in the dollar bin. I just finished reading all 6 issues a few weeks ago, actually. So I highly recommend this /Maraud. This comic book right here is actually called Deity 2, Cat's Eye, number 1. It's out of 1998. And I got this Carl Altstetter joint just for this back cover artwork. It's just so fucking hot. Carl Altstetter did the artwork, co-wrote with Robert Napton. So Carl Altstetter and Robert Napton wrote some stories here. to Karl Altstetter's art, Ka-Zar #1. Dalgota. Dalgota #6 from October 1989. Looks like we got, this one was 1998. This is an 8-issue series. Came out every 2 to 3 months. This dog alien is stranded on Earth. This was continued for a little while in a rebooted title called Flesh and Bones. It's by Jan Sternand, with art by Dennis Fujitake. Here we go, October 1985. There's a backup story in here. Kevin Nolan's doing the art to Jan Sternand's writing in that backup story. This Euro style of artwork. The coloring, I'm not sure who's doing the coloring here. Kenneth Smith. Looks like it's being colored first and scanned. Not sure, you can see kind of like textures here. It was done by hand right there or something. Concluding page right here, page 21 and 22. All right. Ad here for original artwork. If anybody has any feedback on this title, let me know if you think it's worth reading. Here's the backup story with Kevin Nolan artwork. I've shown him doing stuff in the 80s for Alpha Flight and Batman. Definitely see Kevin Nolan type style right there. Definitely in the eyes, the face. Stark Future #3 out of July 1986. This ran for 17 issues. Story by Gordon Derry. It's Jim Somerville doing the cover and the interiors here. Really interesting stuff here that I found, right? Wow, look at that detail. Written by Gordon Derry, Jim Somerville, Barry Blair, editor-in-chief. Ontario, Canada. Yeah, July 1986. Wow, look at that. Wow. So the Dalgota that was brought to you by Fantagraphics. This one is Aircell. Another couple of comics I got out of the dollar bin. Just like with the last few comics here, I have no idea what they are. Just thought they looked fascinating and wanted to check it out. I like martial arts, some form of combat being depicted in sequential form. Now, Larry Hama wrote the first 3 issues of this comic book from New Comics Group. Young Master. 9 issues total. This is November and December 1987 for these first 2 issues here. Larry Hama wrote the first 3. I looked up a little bit about this comic book. The cover for issue 2 looks really cool. Don't know anything about this. I looked through it and just was impressed. Got me curious, right? So decided to grab it. It's Val Mayerick. Val Mayerick doing the art. Now I think after the 3rd issue, there were a couple different writers, and then Chuck Dixon took over the writing on this comic book, Young Master, until the last issue, issue number 9. Lovely. Gotta say, it's very elegant, and it's got prettiness to it. I just find interesting, so I hope the writing is just as interesting, just as exciting as these panels. Okay, looks like we got a backup story here. Shrivel, page 24. There's the first issue of Young Master. New Comics Group. Ka-Zar, the Savage, issue number 12. So issue 11 is the first appearance of Belasco. It's direct edition out of March 1982. It's written by Bruce Jones, art by Brent Anderson. March 1982 cover date. Armando Gil doing the inks. Ka-Zar the Savage ran for 34 issues total. And in this 12th issue here, something about how he's reaching the 9th level of the underworld, encountering Belasco. Belasco turns out, in Uncanny X-Men 160, when Ilyana Rasputin disappears as a child, comes back, even though she'd been gone for less than a few hours. She had aged 7 years, and she was in that limbo realm, and the limbo realm was ruled by Belasco. Curious. Wow, is there some type of reprint going on with this image right here? Or am I mistaken? Is that a different issue of Ka-Zar? I'll look that up. Check out the Recalled Comics website. I'll just do that right now. Ka-Zar the Savage number 12. There is a red panel variant from March 1982. There are 2 versions of this comic per recalledcomics.com, saying that one with a red colored panel featuring a demon-like image and one with a completely blank panel. It says here both issues are widely available. They're both very affordable, well under $5. I just found this in the dollar bin and was thinking, wow, this would be a great reader copy to the second one that I found in the dollar bin. Oh, is it the Show Me Red panel? Oh, we got 2 red panels. Good deal. All right, next up from the dollar bin, I got a few really nice high-grade copies of Alpha Flight and Newsstand. You know, when I see a Newsstand in these dollar bins, I open them up just to see if they're marked jewelers. But then when the pages are white and the condition looks good, then, you know, if I find them interesting, I like them. Yeah. Let's take a look inside. Alpha Flight here, Newsstand edition, September 1985. This ran until 1994 for a total of 130 issues, FYI. Alpha Flight started by John Byrne. I think as of the age of 8, after he was born in England, he grew up in Canada. So this comic book is the first appearance of the Macro Men. They are this Canadian Department of Defense funded group of robots that can combine and form one giant robot. They're going out for a test run against Alpha Flight. So James McDonald Hudson, he returns in issue 25. But it's a ruse created by the android that was carrying out the revenge plans that killed James McDonald Hudson to begin with in issue 12 of Alpha Flight. That android was called Daphne Courtney. Her first appearance was Alpha Flight issue number 7. Daphne Courtney, she poses as James McDonald Hudson. James McDonald Hudson, the Guardian / Weapon Alpha. He says he's returned, but it's not him. This is a 4-part story. This is the second part, and it ends with John Byrne's last issue, issue number 28. And this droid, as far as part of the story goes, it was created by the Brand Corporation, which is a subsidy of Roxxon Corporation. And the droid, posing as this person, Daphne Courtney, she was an aide to the Roxxon corporate executive, Jerry Jackson. And Jerry Jackson knew James McDonald Hudson and Heather before they were married, when they worked for him over at Roxxon. And this guy, Jerry Jackson, he assumed that this technology that James McDonald Hudson was developing for him, for this suit that was used for excavations, for exploring areas of the Earth, I think just for Roxxon's search for resources. I think that suit is what James McDonald Hudson's power suit here is based off of, this Weapon Alpha. So that executive thought that he stole his work and so forth, and just got bitter and jealous and wanted to kill James McDonald Hudson, which he successfully did in Alpha Flight issue 12. But his aide, that was revealed to be a robot, Daphne Courtney, apparently lived. She came back as this ruse, posing as James McDonald Hudson. The team that they had assembled to try and kill James McDonald Hudson with in Alpha Flight 12 was called Omega Flight, and those were like the leftovers from the Canadian Department of Defense Super Soldier program with Gamma Flight and Beta Flight. So they took these people like Diamond Lil, Flashback, Wild Child. They were in issue 12 of Alpha Flight, and they took part in attacking Alpha Flight as the antagonists. And that team, Omega Flight, formed by Daphne Courtney, it's returned here in this issue. This plot to attack Alpha Flight. So that droid, Daphne Courtney, that was working for Jerome Jackson, she's still trying to fulfill his plans of revenge. And now the story here is of issue 25. The droid's back and trying to kill off Alpha Flight. Right? There we go. There's the reveal. And then it turns out that, like I said, one of the members of Gamma Flight, Madison Jeffries is the name of this one guy. That was the only one that wasn't turned to help attack Alpha Flight. He shows up to help Alpha Flight, actually, and his ability is to control machinery. So after he helps Alpha Flight defeat this Omega Flight team, my point is that the parts from this Daphne Courtney android, it's from the Brand Corporation, the Roxxon subsidiary, the parts of this, since it was able to recreate the powers of Vanguard, of Guardian, Weapon Alpha, whatever the name of this superhero is supposed to be from Canada, they used the parts from this suit to give Heather McDonald Hudson a new Guardian suit. So she becomes Guardian. Here she is as Guardian in issue 34. The reason I got this comic was because, 33 is the first appearance of Yuriko Oyama as Lady Deathstrike. It was her first appearance. What issue is it? So Yuriko Oyama first appeared in Daredevil 197, written by Denny O'Neil. Then in Uncanny X-Men issue 205, written by Chris Claremont. It's that whole Mojoverse technology that Spiral used to turn Yuriko Oyama into Lady Deathstrike. She appears as Lady Deathstrike in Alpha Flight issue 34, now written by Bill Mantlo. Let's take a look at her real quick. The second appearance. These interior pencils are Sal Buscema. Yeah, I wasn't crazy about Sal Buscema, to be honest. It's all right, though. There she is, taking off from her first appearance in issue 33. Alpha Flight 40, Newsstand, November 1986. June Brigman did that cover with Kevin Nowlin inks. Namor and Marina get married, and that story of their marriage continues with Avengers 272. Bill Mantlow's story inside with Dave Ross, interior arts, Will Portacio inks. I know I showed off issues 2 and 3 in previous hauls. Issue 3 of this third volume of Excalibur is the first appearance of Scourge. Issue 2 of this 2004 version of Excalibur, that ran for 14 issues, is the first appearance of Hub and Hack. And now issue number 1 of Excalibur, volume 3. July 2004 cover date. Cover by Andy Park. Chris Claremont story with Aaron Lepestre interior artwork. So this is the fallout of Genosha, continuing the consequences of Grant Morrison's story. Started in New X-Men with Cassandra Nova, those Sentinels that she used to attack Genosha, decimated the population of just over, 16 billion mutants, thank God. I'm so sick and tired of the whole ubiquity of mutants. So, this is the first appearance of Wicked. This woman that can reveal the spirits of the dead, talk to spirits of the dead, supposedly control them, guide them. Not sure the details of that, how deep that goes, but you got the first appearance of Wicked, and then you also have the first appearance of Freak Show, and that's this mutant that can turn into this crazy monster. And Unis the Untouchable, since this is the fallout now, post-attack on Genosha, there's no leadership, he's trying to fill the vacuum, he's got this gang that he's created, and he thinks he knows what's going on. He thinks he knows what's up. There's the first appearance of Wicked. And this is her friend, Freak Show. It's their first appearance. So this version of Excalibur isn't out of Great Britain. This is Genosha fallout. PTSD. This up. Alpha King number 1. Check that out. The Bees. I'm sure you might know of a channel. Shout out to the Grandmaster Champion of the Sequential Geek 420 subs appreciation contest. Because we got ourselves right here a comic book that not only has Simon Beasley doing the cover, but he's doing the interiors as well. Brian Azzarello and Nick Floyd. This was done for fun, they said in interviews. No expectations out of this book. It's just supposed to be action and adventure. Promoting this IPA beer, as a matter of fact, 3 Floyds. I believe it's a total of 4 issues. 2016. Gumball Head the Cat on the Missouri River. Rob Sayers, 2016. Thank you all for visiting my comic book haul 69, part 37. Ending it off right here with the #1. First issue of Action Comics out of 1938. What? 50th anniversary. Somebody was storing this in some wizard bag. But Jerry Siegel wrote this story with Joe Shuster doing the art. They were developing this concept of Superman from their science fiction zine that they started. Stapling that together in the Cleveland area on Kimberly Ave. This is from 1988, the direct edition, 50-year anniversary of Superman. 50 cents. Some of the earlier printings, like the quick chocolate milk, then the ad would be back there. Or if you hear somebody say it's the sleeping bag version, there'd be an advertisement for sleeping bags in the back. This is just a straight up DC Comics 50th anniversary edition reprint. The first superhero. Appreciate y'all swinging by, visiting my channel. For all of you sticking with me, thank you for subscribing. Till next time, much love. Stay safe. Peace.